Hello everyone, and welcome to my General Hospital official channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. After their tense encounter, Willow and Drew make a plea and a promise. According to General Hospital spoilers, Willow Tate and Drew Kane are about to have a heated argument. Let's discuss what will happen when this ex-grim encounters Willow because he seems ready to make a request and a commitment. Elizabeth Baldwin attempted to persuade Drew that Willow requires space and time to recover from everything that has transpired. Willow is tired of being influenced and wants to make her own decisions now that she is aware of all the details surrounding Drew's sleazeball conduct. Willow used to rely on Drew's opinion on nearly everything, but those days are long gone. Willow is more difficult to mislead because Drew has broken too many promises. However, the chance to see and talk to Willow in the August 12th episode will be appreciated by Drew. Drew will decide he needs to talk about a few things with Willow at that point. Drew will probably use this as another chance to tell Willow how much he loves her and to let her know that Nina Reeves is not important to him. Even though Drew will understand Willow's sorrow and anger, he will believe that their relationship has hope for the future. Drew will most likely beg for another opportunity to demonstrate that he is the kind of man Willow needs him to be. Maybe Drew will also make another promise to help Willow get her children back and give a hint about some plans he has in the works. Naturally, GH spoilers indicate that Willow's situation won't be so straightforward. Since Drew hasn't delivered on his promises thus far, Willow would question why she should think that this time will be any different. Drew might reassure Willow that he isn't giving up, but Willow might insist that a reunion isn't happening. Since Drew is a man who doesn't accept rejection, Willow's persistent rejection may push him to employ more devious methods. Liz will soon be able to comment on all the most recent developments because, according to General Hospital teasers, Willow will finally provide Elizabeth with updates on the upcoming round of Drew drama. Why that's a problem? How is Britt like General Hospital's Lucky? This should never occur again. Fans of General Hospital received proof that the woman who looks like Britt is actually Britt again. She is currently just enjoying her life, hiding out in Europe, giving herself mystery shots, and making mysterious phone calls to mysterious bosses, despite Jason's concerns. Why it's not a good thing that her return is making us think of Lucky. Fans of GH were thrilled to see Lucky return to Port Charles. He wasn't back in Port Charles, though. Over the course of what seemed like weeks and weeks, we had to watch Lucky, not in Port Charles, but locked up somewhere, play endless cards and have greasy hair, while Holly came and went. Yes, there was a fantasy scene involving Elizabeth. However, Lucky fantasizing about Elizabeth was not something that viewers wanted to watch. If nothing else, we wanted to see him with Elizabeth so she could tell him what a jerk he was for constantly leaving her and the children in such a manner. We understand that the authors believed they were creating tension. But in reality, they were creating annoyance. And Lucky was unconcerned by the time he eventually made it back to his hometown. Britt's return at this point, Britt is following the same playbook. Liesl is discussing her, and Jason is discussing her. All of this is meant to pique our curiosity about Britt's existence, which they are unaware of. We understand that the authors believe they are developing a suspect. However, we fear that they are repeating their error with Britt, which they made with Lucky. A satisfying plot will not result from wasting weeks and weeks on a game of hide-and-seek if her return, like his, is planned to be fleeting. Spoilers for General Hospital for Monday, August 11th to Friday, August 15th. Chase is forced to make an arrest. Britt must deal with the consequences of her behavior. Jocelyn and Vaughn settle into the Five Poppies Resort, and Jason establishes a new objective for himself. General Hospital spoilers for the week of August 11th. On Monday, August 11th, Anna gives Jason a warning that is probably going to be ignored. Preview: Jason and Britt's sultry unfinished business resolution is hinted at by Steve Burton and Kelly Thibault. As Jocelyn and Vaughn arrive at the location where Britt has been hiding out, their new mission begins. Albrecht's daughter is in danger at the same time. Alexis thinks of doing something that would undoubtedly test her legal acumen. We can infer that Cody will be more hurt by Tracy's disapproval than by any little injury. Tuesday, August 12th. General Hospital spoilers: what will happen when Drew and Willow find themselves in the same area at the same time? Jason is eager to meet with Alexis. We have a feeling that Carly and Marco won't get along when they speak. Chase is asked to make an arrest, even though he may not want to. Emma puts on her tough exterior. Wednesday, August 13th. General Hospital spoilers, Britt gets a hard time. Kelly Thibault, who plays Britt, shares all she knows about her experiences over the past few years. Anna's goal is to get Brennan to provide some important information. Willow and Elizabeth had a lengthy conversation. Rocco is there to support Gio when he needs reassurances. You won't want to miss Drew's remarks today. It's shocking. Thursday, August 14th. General Hospital spoilers, will Dante and Brooklyn be able to move forward after they work together? Michael provides words of encouragement for Gio. Even if Trina and Kai are no longer together, Stella believes the young man ought to stand up for the girl he obviously loves. Willow is taken under Chase's wing. Molly wants to convince Drew to think more rationally. Friday, August 15th. General Hospital spoilers, Jason embarks on a task he is desperate to complete. Isaiah asks Felicia for some guidance. Joss is pretty irritated with someone or something. Why is Curtis so agitated? Is it related to Drew, the friend who turned enemy? In relation to whom, the evil politician creates a new method to control Michael. Two sister pairs who might turn against one other on General Hospital. Jocelyn recently said on General Hospital that her main objective as a WSB agent is to apprehend Sonny Corinthos for his numerous misdeeds. It seems like the authors are laying the groundwork for future sisterly strife between Joss and one of her siblings now that she has mentioned this. The sibling in question is Sonny's daughter, Donna Corinthos, who is also her gorgeous younger sister. Joss versus Donna. Joss and Donna are currently on good terms, and Donna is such a nice little child. She is in a state of naive joy due to her youth. She only sees her devoted father when she looks at Sonny. He is a professional criminal, although she is unaware of this yet. She probably has no idea what a career criminal is. What will she think of him after the soap opera writers soar as her and she finds out the truth about him? When she finds out that her half-sister Joss is committed to locking him up, how will she respond? How can they maintain their sisterly relationship? In one way or another, Donna's world is undoubtedly going to collapse. We are all aware of Joss's stubborn nature. Nothing can change her mind once she decides to accomplish something. Additionally, given that Donna's parents are Sonny and Carly, she will undoubtedly develop a strong personality as well. Therefore, it seems as though the authors are preparing us for a conflict between the two sisters in the future. Joss might never be forgiven by Donna if she is successful in locking Sonny up. Avery versus Christina. Avery isn't often shown on TV. However, given how much Christina despises Avery's mother Ava, it's safe to assume that whenever Avery grows up, Christina and Avery will likewise experience a great deal of sisterly strife. If Avery ever finds out that Christina attempted to murder Ava by applying the brakes to what she believed to be Ava's vehicle, what would happen? Avery won't want to interact with her any longer. We all know that Christina is a daddy's girl, so even if she does, she will undoubtedly find it difficult to share her father's attention with Avery. Avery will be the second sibling Christina is at odds with if any of these scenarios materialize. She already occasionally gets into passionate arguments with Molly, which is akin to the brotherly conflict between their fathers, Sonny and Rick. Sibling rivalries between Jason and AJ, twin brothers Jason and Drew, Michael and Morgan, twin brothers Kevin Collins and Ryan Chamberlain, and innumerable more sibling pairs have all been observed on General Hospital. GH spoilers, Willow, who is recently single, falls for a lonely and vulnerable Chase. According to General Hospital spoilers, the fans are experiencing intense emotion this week as their fragile union is forged by Willow Corinthos and Harrison Chase's collapsing lives. Willow is adrift and longs for her children, Wiley and Amelia Corinthos, after she and Drew Quartermaine split up after Curtis Ashford revealed his affair with Nina Reeves on her prospective wedding day. In the meantime, Chase is reeling from his failing marriage to Brooklyn Quartermaine, which is strained due to her insistence that she meant her friendship with Giovanni Gio Palmieri before they can proceed with their adoption plans. Will Willow's truth about kidnapping Daisy Corinthos Gilmore end their relationship, or might Chase and Willow's common weakness kindle a connection that could blossom into romance? Willow and Chase get closer through shared grief following Drew's betrayal, which included fabricating drug tests to make Michael appear to be an addict, lying about Michael Corinthos leaving Wiley, and bribing a German burn clinic nurse to deny Willow a visit to Michael. Willow's world fell apart, leaving her alone and feeling guilty about her choice to abduct Daisy. Their adoption preparations are being delayed while Chase struggles with Brooke Lynn's attention to Gio. Reminiscent of their 2021 liaison, their shared grief has fans debating online whether a Chillo resurrection is imminent. However, any trust could be destroyed by Willow's secret. Will their late-night admissions reignite their romance, or will Chase be too burdened by her secret guilt? Fans understandably worry that Willow's Daisy secret might ruin everything, especially if Chase, who is a detective at heart, discovers her guilty conscience. Willow and Chase may experience intimate moments that hover on the brink of something more. Michael did, after all, caution him that he wasn't acting on all the information. He might begin to question what he doesn't know. Without nobody to advise him to exercise restraint, Chase can get lost and seek solace in Willow's embrace to tend to the injuries Brooke Lynn never meant to inflict on him. Will their relationship last or fail? The specter of her secret looms big while GH weaves the delicate thread of Willow and Chase's comfort. Will their vulnerability lead to a long-lasting romance, or will it shatter their brittle trust as it has in the past? The very idea of these two hooking together is sure to make some of the fans furious. After the drunken hookup between Michael and Sasha Gilmore Corbin, we had had enough of the escapades with Drew and Willow. However, the majority of fans adore Brooke Lynn and Chase together and would not want to see him return to the sultry mess that is the Willow era. The warning signs were loud this time, but Anna had been accustomed to the faint murmur of skepticism that usually followed her gut. Her gaze never left Emma, constantly searching for the smallest change in conduct, a subtle response to a world Anna worried was growing too dangerously entangled. However, Emma was no longer the only focus of this. Anna had discovered something much worse, something involving Jocelyn, in the shadow of her worries for her grandchild. It had begun with innocuous questions, merely names related to the research of Professor Henry Dalton and his dubious connections to foreign investors. A surveillance snapshot then appeared in her encrypted inbox, showing Jocelyn trading something, a tablet, files, or something else, just outside a known WSB safehouse, with Vaughn, a middle-tier handler who has a track record of pushing young assets outside their comfort zone. Anna was gasping for air. The realization weighed down on her chest like lead. Jocelyn had a disguise. Carly didn't know either. Secrets had not been Anna's intention. However, WSB procedure was inscribed with silence and blood. Jocelyn had probably made her decision under duress and thought she could manage on her own. Even whether Jocelyn had volunteered or whether Vaughn had deceived her with promises of authority and purpose was uncertain to Anna. In any case, Anna was unable to save Jocelyn without endangering everything since she was in too deep. Nevertheless, Anna's stomach turned every time Emma mentioned Jocelyn's name or their upcoming meeting. Weeks prior, she had made an attempt to get Carly to listen by voicing her concerns about Vaughn and the company Jocelyn had been keeping. But with a tight smile, Carly, as strong and arrogant as ever, brushed the worry aside. She had dismissed Anna's discomfort by stating, "Joss is smarter than most people twice her age. And she's not involved in anything she can't handle." Despite her conscience screaming different, Anna had nodded silently. She now felt as though she was walking a razor's edge with every step she took in her research into Dalton. The more she examined the professor's ghost accounts and encrypted tech contracts, the more she recognized Jocelyn's fingerprints, high-level clearance maneuvers and unlawful access logs that could only have been made by someone on an approved mission. Jocelyn had been thrown into a surveillance network by Vaughn in an attempt to lure Dalton, but Dalton had moved more quickly than anticipated. His encrypted prototype tracked WSB assets in real time, making it more than merely a data system. He wouldn't think twice if he were to figure out Jocelyn's disguise. Anna continued to remain silent. Emma's security. The mission of Jocelyn. The leash of Vaughn. Carly's lack of knowledge. Until Anna lost the ability to separate one from the others without endangering them all, the fragments overlapped, blurred, and bled into one another. Unaware that her daughter was now pursuing a man with blood-soaked hands, she observed Carly and Olivia laughing over drinks across the metro court. Anna's thoughts were divided between the shame she felt on her chest and the surveillance stream. An hour before, Jocelyn had sent a coded message that indicated Dalton was moving, package shifted. Target heading northeast. Alone. Jocelyn was, too. By themselves. Anna had previously instructed her tech contact to ping the security network to find out where Vaughn was. He wasn't online. Either dead, or worse, compromised. She was outside Carly's office at almost midnight, her hand lingering just above the door. She might barge in, confess everything to Carly, acknowledge her silence, and disclose the assignment. Allow her to express any rage she desires. However, it wasn't that easy. The risk would persist despite Carly's outrage. It would intensify. Jocelyn would be exposed before they could defeat Dalton. Rather, Anna turned away and walked, her heart pounding, back to her car. Her cell rang. The message read, "Target approaching safe house perimeter," and it came from a jumbled number she was familiar with. "I require backup. Now." Jocelyn sent it. Before the screen even faded, Anna pressed the accelerator. It wasn't long to the safe house. Long since abandoned by the Harbor Authority, this former maritime center outside of Port Charles is now a WSB backup location. She drew her weapon, parked a block away, and made her silent move. With a sword taken from the small of her back, Jocelyn was already inside, crouching close to the entrance. Dalton was using a bypass device to connect into the hardline server as his silhouette crept close to the eastern wall. There was no sign of Vaughn. Anna waited for the appropriate time. Jocelyn, however, didn't. The gadget clattered as she rushed forward and knocked Dalton off balance. A vicious and quick struggle ensued, in which Jocelyn kneed Dalton in the ribs after he struck her with a stinging blow to the shoulder. She had undoubtedly been trained, but she wasn't an experienced agent, so it was sloppy yet effective. Anna quickly and silently crept in, disarming Dalton in a matter of seconds. Jocelyn stood, panting, one hand over her shoulder as she pushed him to the wall with an elbow beneath his jaw. "Why in the world are you here?" Jocelyn inquired. Holding Dalton firmly, Anna answered, "I should ask you the same." "He was cutting the feed," Jocelyn said, panting. "This wasn't part of your surveillance route." After pushing Dalton to the ground and zip-tying his wrists, Anna said, "We were losing our eyes on half of Port Charles." "What about Vaughn?" "I'm not responding. 20 minutes have passed since the last ping. Midtown. I believe he was also pursuing Dalton." Anna's heart stopped. "We must relocate. Now." Anna drove quietly after securing Dalton in the trunk. Beside her, Jocelyn sat rigidly, holding on to her arm. "Will you let her know?" quietly, Jocelyn inquired. "Carly," on the steering wheel, Anna's knuckles turned white. "Not yet. When she finds out, she will kill you." "I know. She will never forgive you." "I'm not asking her to." Vaughn was officially declared missing at the WSB debrief. A kill signal, one intended to erase data and get rid of handlers, had been sent out by Dalton's device. Anna's terror increased as she gazed over the censored files. They had Jocelyn's face everywhere, logged and indexed. Her disguise was falling apart. The following day, Carly arrived without warning. "What happened to my daughter?" Anna told the truth. "Not precisely. That wasn't the question." "She's safe." Anna shut the door after them. "You have been hiding something from me." "Yes." "You allowed my daughter to become a spy?" "I need you to hear everything before you respond." "She wasn't assigned by me. Vaughn did." "I didn't know till it started." "How long have you been telling me?" Carly looked at her for a long, painful moment before saying, "Too long." "You endangered her life. While she was pursuing a murderer, you kept me in the dark." "I did," Anna acknowledged. Carly moved up and said, "Because blowing her cover would have gotten her killed faster. If something were to happen to her." Anna remained unflinching. Carly simply left after saying, "I'll accept the blame." "You already have it." Long after the door had closed, Anna sat in the ensuing silence, observing it. She had run out of excuses and reasons. All she could hope for was that she had made the correct decision, for Jocelyn, for the mission, for Port Charles, when the stakes were high. But one question nagged at the back of her mind: what if she hadn't? General Hospital spoilers: will the Quartermaine legacy be upended by Erica Slezak's arrival as Monica's sister? According to General Hospital spoilers, fans are eagerly awaiting Erica Slezak's impending arrival in an enigmatic role. The One Life to Live legend will appear on the show in September, but not as Vicky Lord, as her fan club announced on August 1, 2025. Online theories suggest that Slezak could portray Monica Quartermaine's long-lost sister, who is connected to a mysterious letter that Marty Gray discovered. Will Slezak's position redefine the Quartermaine heritage or take an unanticipated direction in the absence of official confirmation from GH? Fans are speculating that Slezak may be Monica's sister, a theory that has been heightened by Marty's discovery of a letter that suggests a secret familial connection. Sisters Slezak's casting has the internet in flames. According to some rumors, Slezak's character could pose a threat to the Quartermaine estate, particularly given Monica's declining health following Leslie Charleson's death in January of this year. However, there is still very little agreement among the fan base. As a sibling, Slezak may start a conflict with Tracy Quartermaine, but she may also be someone else. The mystery is kept alive by the lack of confirmation, which foreshadows a dramatic change. A new Quartermaine threat is coming since Austin Gatlin Holt attempted to prove he was a Quartermaine. We haven't seen anything like this. Although Giovanni Gio Palmieri is now aware that he is AQ as well, nobody disputed him during that shocking revelation. As Slezak's character approaches her debut, the Quartermaine family should be prepared for impact, as rumors of a sisterly claim to Monica's legacy are causing tension. As she always does, going toe-to-toe with Tracy would put the new Q matriarch in a strong position to defend her family and take the lead. Some fans are imagining a confrontation that would reveal Monica's history as a Dr. Gail Baldwin-raised orphan. Will Slezak be a wild card that shakes Port Charles, or will she play the sister role that many anticipate? A new Q is in town. Sort of the unverified sister rumor feeds fan fervor as Slezak's entrance is set to shock the popular Sudzer next month. Will she carry on Monica's tradition by attacking Tracy, or will she reveal a new angle that keeps both fans and the Quartermaines on edge? I'm excited for a game-changer that might leave Tracy in mourning as she battles to preserve her family's legacy and remain in the house, but I'm also curious about how many Qs will be standing if a family dispute breaks out after losing another one. Sidwell and Marco are still plotting against Sunny. Anna and Brennan get into a heated argument, and Portia and Curtis get back together. Brennan removed Anna's head back at his WSB office. Brennan said that he was attempting to spare her from a sentence at Steinmauer because she had come perilously close to jeopardizing a level 5 mission. She is glad that he was the only one who abducted her, but furiously reminded him, in the future, a phone call works just as well as abduction. He concluded that openness was needed. Brennan clarified that Dalton was studying cold fusion, which Anna immediately deduced could be used as a weapon if it fell into the wrong hands. Anna chastised him for assigning a novice recruit to a mission in a faraway country after he acknowledged that Jocelyn was now a complete agent. Brennan angrily informed her that she had received a thorough briefing and that she could now move aside and avoid their path. Given that Emma was also participating, Anna made it apparent that she had no plans to step down. He threatened, "If you try to stop us or get in our way, the next time you're taken, you're going to wake up in Steinmauer, if you wake up at all." She admitted that he had put her in a box, but claimed he was unaware that he was also in one because there would be hell to pay when Carly discovered what he had done to her daughter. He said that sharing any information she had just been given would be considered treason, something she had experienced as a former double agent. Brennan angrily claimed that he never coerced Jocelyn into doing anything, but Anna made him realize the reality. He was left fuming when she pointed out that, out of all the women she had seen him with, she had never saw him behave in such a manner toward Carly, whom she had obviously fallen in love with. Anna brought up the fact that he had just sent his lover's daughter on a dangerous assignment and questioned how he would handle Carly in the event that something went wrong when he said that his feelings were unimportant. Brennan insisted that it was merely a recon expedition and that he had every reason to think Jocelyn Vaughn would return from Dalmatia unscathed before slamming the door of his office. When Anna recalled what Jason had told her about Britt, Dalmatia provided her with yet another hint. After a run, Michael and Dante returned to the Q house. Michael was complaining about what he had been missing and was thinking about Daisy. Though he said he lacked proof, he told Dante about his developing suspicions that Willow was the one pursuing Daisy. He hoped he was mistaken because if he wasn't, everything would be different. He wasn't even sure he wanted to approach Willow about it. Michael grew increasingly convinced that Willow was the one pursuing Daisy as they conversed. Dante proposed to launch a formal investigation. Michael was more certain than ever that Wiley and Amelia were no longer safe with Willow, even though he didn't want to yet. When Chase got to the hospital, he spotted Willow. She responded that she was feeling better now that he was there when he inquired about her health. She begged Chase to go on break with her since she needed a friend. She wanted to know whether he had any information concerning Wiley and Amelia's situation. He mentioned that Amelia's new favorite beverage was grapefruit and Wiley was enjoying oatmeal. Willow realized that they were changing, but she was unable to see it. She claimed that accepting her involvement in everything was the first step in the extensive self-improvement she needed to undertake. She admitted that going to Carly's wasn't appropriate and was still shocked that Carly didn't feel sorry for her, but she later appeared to comprehend why. She wanted to find a way to repair all the harm. Willow was reassured by Chase that she was a wonderful person and a good mother, and that Michael and Carly will eventually witness it once more. Carly discovered Lucas in a break room in the meantime. She wanted him to move back in because she missed him, so she brought his mail as a reason to visit him. They both knew their mother would be upset about them arguing over Sunny because they had been thinking about her a lot. When Lucas said that Bobby never left because of Sunny, he was essentially offering an olive branch, but he continued. He thought Carly had said some pretty condescending and dismissive things about his relationships with Brad and Marco, without admitting that he had said anything harsh during their earlier disputes. She apologized and admitted it, but Lucas condescendingly claimed he understood that it was simpler for her to attack him than to own up to her mistake with Sunny. Carly sat down for a longer conversation with him and, surprisingly, didn't become defensive. She reiterated her desire to maintain a relationship with Sunny, but when she retaliated against him, she apologized once more for any cruel remarks she had made. Although Lucas acknowledged the apology, he remained critical of Sunny and Carly's acceptance of him. It was time, he remarked, and he still planned to move out. Ultimately, Carly returned his house key, which he could use on holidays or whenever he wished to visit. Carly bumped into Willow and Chase in the hallway on her way out of the hospital. Willow stopped her as she tried to pass and requested to speak for a moment. Willow expressed regret for being at the house on the wedding night and for not paying attention to Carly's cautions on Drew. Carly claimed to have heard it previously from Willow's sister Nellie, who made numerous unintended apologies. She promised not to fall for it again and added that Willow didn't need to apologize to her in any case. Curtis invited Portia to the Metro Court restaurant to join him. She pondered whether the meal was the Last Supper or a celebration. He said it was a celebration because Drew wanted a truce, but he was still not aware that Drew was playing him. They should keep their eyes open and ears to the ground, Portia said, remaining extremely cautious. She continued by asking if he was now prepared to defend their marriage. According to Curtis, he was there to defend them and help them reunite. Although Portia admitted that her anxiety had caused her to make poor choices, she believed that they might come out of the experience stronger than before. He claimed to have remembered how much he still loved her despite everything that was going on. Furthermore, he praised her for her guts and courage in confronting Drew. They raised a glass to their shared future and the individuals they were now. Tracy met with Marco and Sidwell at a different table to let them know that some of Sunny's investment in deception was money that had been laundered. In response, Sidwell sarcastically commented that he was surprised and that he had assumed Sunny would be more cautious. She continued by informing them that deception had severed his relationship with Sunny and reimbursed his original investment. She said that they would have to provide the police the information they had since they were good corporate citizens, but Sidwell insisted she couldn't. After he withdrew his support for Measure C, Tracy made it apparent that she wasn't requesting his approval but rather giving him a courtesy he didn't really deserve. ADA Turner intervened, requesting a private conversation with Marco. She went on to declare that Marco's claim regarding Sunny was untrue and questioned why he was shielding him when they attempted to fire her. Marco reminded her that he was going with his signed statement, which she had. Sidwell pulled out of Measure C because Sunny forced him to, Tracy guessed after Turner's departure, but he told him he would still be very helpful behind the scenes. Tracy still intended to provide the police Natalia's files, but Marco and Sidwell gave her a detailed warning about how she would lose deception since she had already retained the material for too long. After Tracy left, Marco and Sidwell admitted that they both ended up covering for Sonny, but it was obvious that they were united in their goal to overthrow him. Tracy concluded by saying, "You'll have to forgive me if I don't take advice from a man who lives in a faux medieval fortress and associates with Lucy Coe." "Don't worry," Sidwell said as they toasted. "I have a wonderful event planned." He claimed to have rigged it up so that it appeared as though Sonny had bought off Judge Heron at Michael and Willow's custody case. "And when I launch this weapon, I won't miss." The decision would be overturned, Willow would win, and Sonny would lose Michael if it were discovered. Sonny would have little option but to comply with Sidwell's wishes if he wished to prevent the harm. "Time is everything," Marco's father said in response to Marco's question about why he hadn't utilized it yet. It's interesting to note that Marco didn't appear shocked or disturbed by his father's use of Sonny's children and grandchildren to manipulate him. Following their softball game, Jason and Sonny sat by the window at the Metro Court pool. Rocco's double helped them win, but Sonny had never seen Jason miss a fly ball before, so he wondered where his head was today. Jason told him that it was with Britt and that he had heard her on the phone and seen her at the airport. He wanted to respect Britt's decision to vanish from this world, so even though he was now certain she was still alive, he had no plans to take any action. Sonny warned Jason that Britt might want to know he was still alive because she believed he died under a pile of rocks in Greece. She accused him of fixing the softball game, and Ada Turner broke off their chat as they were leaving the restaurant to head to the pool to congratulate them on their victory. Innuendo, double entendres, and nebulous allegations characterized Turner and Sonny's strange, semi-flirtatious conversation about their forthcoming softball game. Following Turner's departure, Sonny told Jason that he was deliberately interacting with her in public so that it would appear as though she was biased when she later made a case against him. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, so please don't forget to subscribe my channel and don't miss any update.